Chapter 1, Intro. Alright folks, let's talk about something that's been bugging both men and women lately, the dating game. It's a jungle out there, and it seems like the rules have changed, man. You got all these dating apps, social media, and it's like nobody knows how to act anymore. Ladies, have you noticed that men aren't approaching you like before? Guys, are you tired of striking out? It's like dating is dead and everyone's just swiping left, ghosting each other, and staying single. We gotta ask ourselves, what the hell is going on? Why are so many dudes out there just throwing in the towel? We dove deep into the comment sections, man. Read hundreds of comments from men online, and let me tell you, their answers were pretty revealing. Some of this stuff might sting a little, but hey, the truth hurts sometimes, right? Don't worry though, this isn't about pointing fingers. We're gonna break down these reasons, try to understand where guys are coming from, and maybe, just maybe, we can figure out how to make this whole dating thing suck less for everyone. You know, a little empathy goes a long way. Chapter 2, Financial Pressure. First up, let's talk about the elephant in the room, money. Look, we all know dating can be expensive, right? Dinners, drinks, movies, it all adds up. And it seems like a lot of guys are feeling the pressure, man. They're working their asses off, trying to make ends meet, and then they gotta spend a bunch of money just to go on a date. It's a lot, man. And it's not just about being cheap either. It's about feeling like you're being used, you know? Like you're just an ATM with legs. Some guys are saying they feel like women expect them to foot the bill for everything. Expensive gifts, fancy dinners, the whole 9 yards, without bringing anything to the table themselves. Now, I'm not saying all women are like that, not even close, but there are definitely some guys out there who feel like they're being taken advantage of. And when you're already struggling financially, it just adds insult to injury, you know? So, what's the solution? Well, communication is key, right? Maybe we need to be more upfront about our financial situations and expectations. And ladies, maybe we can offer to split the bill sometimes or suggest doing something that doesn't break the bank. Now I know what you're thinking, Joe. Are you saying chivalry is dead? Should men just stop paying for dates altogether? Look, I'm not saying that either. I think there's a balance, right? I mean, I still hold doors open for women and I'm always happy to pay for a first date, but I also think it's important for women to show some appreciation, you know, like a simple thank you goes a long way, and hey, maybe offer to pay for the second date if things go well. It's about showing that you're invested in the relationship, that you're not just in it for the free meals. Because at the end of the day, relationships are a two-way street, right? It's not just about the man providing everything and the woman just sitting back and enjoying the ride. That's not how it works. It's about partnership, about working together, about building something together, and that takes effort from both sides. Now, I know there are some women out there who are straight-up gold diggers. They want the fancy cars, the designer clothes, the whole shebang. And hey, more power to them, I guess. If they can find a guy who's willing to pay for all that, then good for them. But here's the thing, most guys I know, they're not looking for a gold digger. They're looking for a woman who's down to earth, who's not materialistic, who's in it for the right reasons. And let's be honest, there are guys out there who are totally cool with being sugar daddies. They've got the money, and they're happy to spend it on a woman who makes them happy. But that's a whole different dynamic, right? That's not really about love or companionship, it's more of a business transaction. And look, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're into. But it's important to be honest with yourself and with the other person about what you're looking for. Don't go into a relationship expecting one thing when you're really after something else. Alright, let's move on to another big one, fear of false accusations. Look, we live in a crazy world, man. Things get blown out of proportion online in a heartbeat. One minute you're just flirting with a girl at a bar, the next minute you're the subject of a viral Twitter thread labeled a predator. It's insane. And I'm not saying it doesn't work both ways, because it definitely does. But there's no denying that there are some guys out there who are genuinely terrified of being falsely accused of something. It's like they feel like they can't even talk to a woman anymore without risking their entire lives being ruined. And that's a damn shame, man. Because it creates this atmosphere of fear and suspicion where everyone's walking on eggshells, afraid to make a move. It's like, how can you have a normal, healthy interaction with someone when you're constantly worried about saying or doing the wrong thing? And you know what the worst part is? It's like the court of public opinion is already in session before anyone even has a chance to defend themselves. Social media is brutal, man. People are so quick to judge, to condemn, to cancel. And once you've been branded with that scarlet letter, it's almost impossible to shake it. Your reputation is tarnished, your career could be over, your life as you know it is pretty much finished. It's no wonder guys are hesitant to put themselves out there, you know? It's like they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. And look, I'm not condoning any kind of harassment or assault, not in the slightest. But I also think it's important to remember that everyone deserves due process, you know? We can't just go around accusing people without evidence and ruining their lives without a fair trial. So, how do we navigate this minefield? Well, I think it starts with communication again. We need to be more open and honest with each other about our intentions. If you're interested in someone, make it clear, but also be respectful of their boundaries. And if someone tells you they're not interested, back off. It's not that complicated. And for God's sake, let's stop being so quick to judge each other, you know? We're all human, we all make mistakes. Let's try to have a little more empathy and understanding for each other. High body counts and loyalty issues. Alright, so we've talked about financial pressure and the fear of false accusations, but let's get real about another thing that's got men questioning the whole dating game, loyalty. Or should I say, the lack of it? Look, trust is the foundation of any relationship, romantic or otherwise. You gotta be able to trust someone with your heart, your emotions, your vulnerabilities. And that's tough to do when you feel like loyalty is a one-way street. You see guys commenting online about body counts and questioning whether they want to be with a woman who's been with a lot of other guys. And it's not about being judgmental, man. It's about wondering if someone who's been with that many people is actually capable of being truly committed to one person. It's like you start to wonder if you're just another notch on the bedpost, you know? And that's a tough pill to swallow, especially if you're looking for something real, something lasting. And look, I get it. It's the 21st century. People are going to explore, have experiences, all that. But there's this whole other level of it now with social media. It's like this constant highlight reel of everyone else's supposed perfect relationships and hookups. You've got Instagram models and influencers flaunting their bodies, their lifestyles, their endless string of partners. It creates this weird pressure, this perception that everyone's out there living this wild, carefree life, and if you're not keeping up, you're somehow missing out. But let's be honest, man, how much of that is real and how much is just carefully curated BS? It's easy to project an image online, but it doesn't necessarily reflect the truth about someone's commitment levels or their ability to be loyal. And I think that's what scares a lot of guys. It's like, how do you even know what's real anymore? And is it even possible to find someone who values loyalty and commitment in a world that seems so obsessed with fleeting connections? Now, before anyone jumps down my throat, let me be clear. This isn't about shaming anyone for their past or their choices. It's about acknowledging a very real fear that a lot of men have in this day and age. And look, it's not just about women either. There are plenty of guys out there who are all about playing the field and racking up numbers. It's a two-way street for sure. But I think there's a reason why this whole body count thing is such a hot topic. It boils down to this. When you've been burned before, when you've put your trust in someone, only to have it thrown back in your face, it changes you. It makes you question everything and everyone. So, yeah, maybe some guys are hesitant to commit because they're worried about loyalty. And honestly, who can blame them? Trust is a precious thing. And once it's broken, it's damn near impossible to rebuild. So maybe, just maybe, we need to start having some real conversations about what loyalty and commitment mean in this crazy modern world. Alright folks, let's talk about unrealistic standards. We live in a world of Instagram filters and perfectly curated lives, and it's messing with everyone's heads. Guys are bombarded with images of these seemingly perfect women, right? Like these women with impossible bodies, flawless skin, the whole 9 yards, and it creates this warped perception of what's considered attractive, you know? It's like everyone's chasing after this unattainable ideal. And listen, I'm all for self-improvement and striving to be your best self, but it's gotten out of hand. Guys are starting to feel like they need to be billionaires with six-pack abs just to stand a chance. It's like, dude, relax, not everyone can be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and that's okay. And here's the thing, a lot of these images are fake. They're edited, photoshopped, and filtered to high heaven. It's all smoke and mirrors, man. So guys are out there comparing themselves and potentially their partners to something that doesn't even exist in the real world. It's enough to make anyone insecure. And look, I'm not saying women are solely responsible for this. It's the whole damn system, you know? Social media, advertising, the whole 9 yards. But it's definitely playing a role in why some guys are hesitant to put themselves out there. It's like, why bother trying when you're up against these unrealistic expectations? And you know what else is wild? The double standard. Guys are expected to be successful, ambitious, and driven, which is all well and good, but then there's this expectation that they have to be okay with a woman who's not putting in the same effort. It's like, hold on a minute. It's not about putting women down, it's about equality, right? If a guy is busting his ass to build a life, it's natural to want a partner who's on the same page. Someone who's also driven, ambitious, and has their own goals and aspirations, not someone who's just along for the ride, expecting to be taken care of without contributing. And it's not just about finances either. It's about emotional intelligence, kindness, and just being a good human being. It's about having your own interests, passions, and bringing something unique to the table. Relationships are a two-way street, you know? It's about mutual respect and support. Look, I'm all for female empowerment. I think it's fantastic when women are independent and go after what they want. But it's about finding that balance, right? Equality means just that, equal effort, equal respect, and equal contribution to the relationship. So you've got these unrealistic standards being thrown around, and it's easy for guys to start feeling inadequate. They might think, man, I'm not rich enough, not ripped enough, not tall enough, not whatever enough, and that insecurity can be paralyzing. It's like, why even bother approaching a woman if you already feel like you're starting 10 steps behind? You know, it's like showing up to a gunfight with a spoon. It's tough to be confident and put yourself out there when you feel like you're not measuring up. And the thing is, a lot of women are amazing, right? They're smart, funny, kind, and have their own shit going on. But if guys are constantly bombarded with these unrealistic images and expectations, it's easy to lose sight of that. It's like, we need to take a step back and remember what's truly important. It's not about having a perfect Instagram life. It's about finding someone who you connect with, who you can laugh with, who you can build a life with, someone who accepts you for who you are, flaws and all. Now, this next one is a bit of a touchy subject, but we got to talk about it. There's been a big shift in traditional values, and it's left some guys feeling confused about their role in relationships. You know, back in the day, things were pretty straightforward. Men were the providers, the protectors, the ones who took charge. Women were the nurturers, the homemakers, the ones who kept the family together. But times have changed, man, and for the better in a lot of ways. Women are killing it in the workplace, breaking down barriers, and demanding the equality they deserve. And that's awesome. I'm all for it. But it's also led to some confusion about how traditional gender roles fit into modern relationships. Some women still expect men to be the primary breadwinners, even if they're working just as hard themselves. And then you have other women who want a 50-50 partnership, where everything is split down the middle. And then there's everything in between. It's a mixed bag, and it can be tough for guys to navigate. It's not that men don't want to step up, it's that the rules keep changing. It's like trying to play a game where the instructions are written in a different language every time you look at them. It's frustrating, man. Guys just want to know what's expected of them. Here's another thing. Chivalry. Remember chivalry? Holding doors open, paying for dates, those kinds of things? Used to be considered respectful, right? A way to show a woman you care. But now it's like a minefield. Some women appreciate the gesture while others see it as offensive, like you're implying they can't open a door themselves. And look, I get it, no one wants to be patronized or treated like they're incapable, but it's like, can't a guy just be nice anymore without worrying about offending someone? It's like walking on eggshells, man. It all boils down to communication, right? If you're a woman who appreciates those traditional gestures, let your partner know. And if you'd rather split the bill or open your own damn door, that's cool too. Just be upfront about it. Don't make guys guess because, let's be honest, we're not very good at that. It's about finding that balance between respecting each other's values and creating a dynamic that works for both people. It's not about sticking to outdated traditions, it's about finding a modern version of chivalry that respects everyone involved. And you know what all this leads to? Fear. Guys are afraid to make a move, afraid to say the wrong thing, afraid to even compliment a woman because they don't know how it's going to be received. It's like they're walking on eggshells, constantly worried about being misinterpreted or labeled as something they're not. And that fear, man, it can be crippling. It prevents guys from approaching women they're interested in, from expressing their feelings, from forming meaningful connections. It's like this invisible barrier that's been erected, and it's preventing genuine interaction between the sexes. The truth is, most guys just want to connect with women on a genuine level. They want to share their lives, their passions, and their vulnerabilities. But when you're constantly worried about saying or doing the wrong thing, it becomes almost impossible to be your authentic self. It's like, we need to create a space where both men and women feel safe to communicate openly and honestly, without fear of judgment or retribution. A space where we can acknowledge our differences, respect each other's perspectives, and learn from each other. That's how we bridge this gap and build healthier relationships. So, there you have it, folks. 5 reasons why men might not be chasing women like they used to. Financial pressure, fear of false accusations, high body counts and loyalty issues, unrealistic standards, and the changing landscape of traditional values. Now look, I'm not saying all men feel this way, and I'm definitely not saying all women are responsible for these fears, but these are real concerns that are affecting how some men approach relationships. And I think it's important to have an open and honest conversation about it. Men still want love, man. They crave connection, intimacy, and partnership. But they also need to feel safe, respected, and valued. They need to know that their efforts are appreciated and reciprocated. They need to feel like they can be themselves without judgment or fear. Ladies, if you want love, be the woman worth fighting for. Be honest, be kind, be supportive, and be real. And men, communicate your needs and fears openly and respectfully. Let's bridge this gap and build stronger, healthier relationships based on mutual respect, understanding, and love. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Ladies, would you date a man with these fears? Men, did we miss your reason? Hit that comment section below and let's keep this conversation going.